Hi guys, this is Lada from astrolada.com with your weekly forecast for the second week of January from the 9th till the 15th of January, and we are going into a really exciting times. A week that can transform and turn around people's life. And I know we as astrologers like to kind of exaggerate sometimes to drum in the point, but I'm being serious here because we have a super remarkable full moon which is part of a grand cross, and I'm going to speak about each sign, how it's going to affect you, and why this grand cross, this full moon, because we have a full moon every month, and why is this one in particular going to be so important and can change your life, and in what ways it can change your life. But before that, a quick announcement, guys. We continued the sales of the courses, some of them up to 50% down till the end of January. So if you want to get a free a cheap astrology course, 30 to 50% off, and we've changed some courses, you know, so you can go to astrolada.com to the courses section and get your cheaper course, and also get my all about Uranus webinar for another 2 days. It's cheaper. After that it goes higher price, yeah, so let's go into the week now. Let's go and see how this week can transform your life and why it is so important for the whole world and on a personal level for you. Well, as I said, there is a full moon that's happening in Cancer, if you can see here. I don't know if it's reversed. I hope it's not reversed for you to see it, but there is a full moon in Cancer, and full moon is when the sun opposes the moon, so the sun will be standing exactly opposite the moon. And you know, when there is like tension, two objects opposite each other, there is tension, everyone is pulling towards themselves. But it's not only that, they are being exactly crossed on a cross with Uranus and Jupiter, which are opposite as well. So we're having a configuration now on the 12th of January, which actually is going to impact us, I believe, the whole year as well, because this is the first full moon for 2017, so the whole 2017 will be under the impact of this full moon. But at least specifically the first 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks basically of January, till the end of January, till the next new moon in Aquarius, till then this full moon will be active. So it's not just on Tuesday that this prediction will be valid for. It's going to be valid till the end of January almost. And what I'm talking about, how it can transform your life, guys, pay attention to it, because it can you know, impact you not just on the 12th, but 2 weeks later on. You can feel it even a little bit before, but it can impact your whole life as well. So as we said, we have like this full moon, there is like a grand square forming, and squares, grand squares, is when, you know, each planet is a 90-degree angle from the other, and each one is pulling towards its own part of space. So what happens, you know, it's like being put on a cross. It's like being crucified almost. For some people it might feel like that. It's like everyone, different energies and different areas of your life are pulling in different directions and demanding your attention, and they would not reconcile. It's like hard sometimes to reconcile because everyone has equal strength and is pulling towards their direction and is adamant about what they want. They're not willing to compromise any of the planets. So what happens is like inner tension, extreme powerful inner tension that happens within a person on a personal level. So people can feel like something is like bubbling inside them. They can feel like, and it might be caused by outer circumstances, because they're happening in the cardinal sign, in Cancer, in Libra, in Capricorn, and Aries, which usually represent cardinal areas of one's life, of cardinal changes, which represent career, personal life, relationships, self actions, personal actions. So either out of circumstances or inner something, you're starting to feel stressed, you're starting to feel like you need to take action, because cardinal signs are about taking actions. And by the way, 2016 we had lots of those cardinal grand squares, but they were immutable signs. The whole 2016 was under the influence of grand crosses under mutable energy. And mutable energy was about adapting to new circumstances and starting to find out things and exploring different, adapting your mentally and psychologically, and starting to explore different alternatives. But 2017 will be under the influence of Cardinal grand crosses, which means yes, we've adapted, we've accepted that reality is different in 2016, that things will be changing, but now it's time to make the changes 2017, starting from January, because cardinal signs, cardinal signs is when the seasons change basically. So they have this energy of action, of movement, of going and getting things done. So not only will there be this inner tension, but it will push you, inner and outer tension, but it will push you towards making some cardinal changes in your life. And who's gonna feel it the most? Of course, it's gonna be people who have Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Cancer, Aries, Capricorn, or Libra. That's a big part of humans. Probably 50% of humans have something in cardinal signs, whether it's the Ascendant, Sun, or Moon, the 3 important points in the horoscope. So many people, of course there will be exceptions, but many people will be affected personally by this grand cross to take action. And grand crosses create some crisis. You see, like this expression, you're bearing your cross, some burden, some crisis appears. But there also, my teacher would always explain, give it an example to me, that when there is a grand cross, it becomes like a square, but it's also a wheel that can turn around, that can topple down. And this wheel can spin the wheel of your fortune. So when planets are on a grand cross, their material manifestation, actually in Vedic astrology, planets on grand cross, the cross is what? Is the symbology of matter, of material manifestation. And even though there is tension, even though there is pressure and some crisis, it's pushing us to make some change in a big way, and it's pushing us to spin the wheel of fortune. But this is a square wheel, and as a square wheel, when a square wheel moves, it's kind of bumpy, a bit like that, So yes, there is a big change that can transform your life, but at the same time it can just feel bumpy. But people that are ready for a change, they welcome grand crosses, especially grand crosses in cardinal signs, which are not about exploring, adapting, having to accept, to reconcile like the mutable grand crosses. No, it's about you taking action and something happening. It's not staying stable, it's not staying stationary, just you wondering what decision to take and having this tension. No, you go and take action now. Or from outside something pushes you to do that. So it's gonna be 2017. This grand cross is gonna repeat a few times, by the way, and that's the first. Maybe it can give you an inkling, even if you don't make the big changes that grand crosses want on the material physical level and take the initiative, that you'd start feeling that the need to change something. And I'm going to speak how it can affect each sign of you, this grand cross that's happening in cardinal signs, and actually even Pluto is part of it. And by the way, this full moon triggers again the Jupiter-Pluto square, which was active from 2012 till 2015, but they're still within 3 degrees from each other, Pluto and Uranus square, not Pluto and Jupiter. The Pluto and Uranus square, which lasted for 3 years, but they're still within 3 degrees, even though they're separating. But it brings us back into the energy of the Pluto-Uranus, the revolutionary, life-changing, quantum leap, consciousness-changing, outer circumstances changing, gods of change, Pluto and Uranus energy. So this full moon triggers something in a big way, guys, and even if it's some kind of spiritual awakening or inner awakening for the need to start pushing and changing something, even if it's not auto manifested, don't worry, it will repeat these grand squares a few times over the years, again around the spring and the summer, around the changes of season basically. But this is the first one, and we're getting an inkling into what it's going to be, and actually the whole world will be changing. And this time the world is not just changing, us realizing, being disappointed and adapting to the truth and reality, which is the mutable crosses. No, this time we're taking actions and we're going out. And just like what happened with the spring revolution, when Uranus and Pluto started the squaring, from 2011, when people just came out on the streets, now this energy is triggered again. And I believe people will be rising in a sense. We'll be taking actions to change things. There'll be big changes happening in the world. I'm excited about that. A crisis is necessary to happen for big changes to happen, and the Grand Cross is the energy of crisis. And now let's see, and I do believe that because the full moon is happening in the constellation, it's in the sign of Cancer, but the backdrop, you see the constellation of the twins, which we call Gemini as well, but this is, constellations are called with other names. So the backdrop of the full moon is happening exactly between the two twins, Castor and Pollux, and they symbolize opposing opinions. So this full moon will trigger over the next 2 weeks in a powerful way in the world, opposing opinions between the people, opposing opinions between extreme black and white opinions, because Castor and Pollux are the good and the bad twin, and the full moon just basically focuses the energy there. So within us there will be like black and white fighting it out. On the outer level in the world there will be people with very polarized opinions, which is the Geminian twin energy, and because it's the sign of tropical sign of Cancer, powerful emotional reactions towards each other, powerful emotional reactions that push us into action as well, that are triggered by differing opinions, because the backdrop and society, opposing groups of society kind of, you know, with really polarized opinions, and all these other planets are also pulling in each other's direction. It will be very interesting 2 weeks in a 2 weeks ahead, guys, world predictions wise. But now let's come back to personal predictions, how it's going to affect you in your life. Okay, let's first group the signs. First, I'm going to speak about all the cardinal signs. If you have Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, just like I have the Sun in Aries, whether you have it in Aries, in Cancer, in tropical Libra, or in tropical Capricorn, these 2 weeks can be decisive in your life, because the cardinal, this full moon is happening on the angles in your horoscope, which symbolize some big change with personal life, with family, with place of living, or some big change if you're Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, or Aries, with your personal relationships, because the crosses, the angles represent the 4 major areas of one's life: personal actions and destiny in life. So something that you do with your own actions can change your life and transform it in a big way. Also family life, place of living, family, members of family, property. Also relationships, partnerships, so business, marriage, personal relationship, and career and social status. The 4 pillars of life, you know. So for cardinal signs, if you happen to be one of those, they can be those cardinal changes and decisions that you're turning your life around, guys, that you make decisions and you take action on them within possibly even the next 2 weeks, or even you get an inkling what's going to come throughout the year when this cardinal grand crosses repeat again, because you get this inner impulse for the action already. But observe very carefully the next 2 weeks. I believe it will manifest also on the material level outside in a tangible way for many of us cardinal people, especially people that have anything around the 20th degree, which means Cancers, Libras, Capricorns, so areas that are born around, you know, from the 10th till the 15th, approximately those middle degrees of the signs, 10th of the 15th of their respective months. You know, this is July, this is October, this is maybe even, you know, this is Capricorn is January, and Aries is April, of course. Then if you happen to be one of the other 4 pairs of signs, which is like, for example, the fixed signs, which is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, then this grand square, cardinal square for Libra, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio, it's happening in your so-called mutable houses, which are about opinions, which are about how you perceive the world. So something can shift in a big way for you guys, for the fixed signs. I'm going to speak about each sign after that separately, because I think this full moon is very important. But specifically grouping all those fixed signs together, there might be a huge shift in how you perceive something. You might this grand cross can unlock, if you've been stuck seeing the reality in one way, you can wake up within the next 2 weeks and you can have like a eureka moment. You might first experience a mini crisis, inner tension, especially in the mind, how you're thinking, how you're perceiving the world, because these mutable houses that the grand square triggers for you, which is the 12th house, the 6th house, the 3rd and the 12th, is about perceptions, is about belief systems, is about, and this is so important, guys. This is so important because me being an Aquarius ascendant and Leo moon, I would feel much more the grand square in the mutable houses for the fixed signs, basically, and depends what you are. Maybe you have 2 fixed signs, sun or an ascendant, so then this will be much more prevalent for you, or moon and sun. But even if one fixed sign, something can shift in your consciousness in a big way. Something can shift. For example, you've wanted to stop cigarettes for a long time and you can't, and then this grand square triggers those perception houses, and you just wake up with different perceptions and way of seeing things, or you've been hung up on something from the past and been conditioned by some pain, for example, and you've been seeing everything through the prisms of some trauma or pain, and this some crisis culminates psychological even out over the next 2 weeks that shifts your perceptions, and you break the cycle, and some action takes you out of this old perception, and has shifted. It's not necessarily for your whole life, for everything in your life, but for something in your life that you've been stuck in. This grand square wants to topple you out, of that stagnation, wants to through some crisis instigate this change for the fixed signs in their consciousness of perceptions. And you know, if you change the consciousness, the outer manifestation of something also changes in a powerful way. And then for the other 3rd group of signs, which we call the mutable signs, which is Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces, this is happening, the grand square, the grand cross, square, cross, same stuff, is happening in their security houses, in the 2nd, 8th, 5th and 11th. So their values, what they appreciate, something about their security, their money, their possessions, something that gives them a sense of stability and security has to change starting from January, has to be shifted. Their value system overall in a big way. Anything that gives you a sense of this is what I possess, this is mine, like my friends, my lover, my you know, those fixed signs rules usually values and possessions of some sort, and things that we used to rely on to support us, that are always, we feel are always there for us. But it's something will be shifting there. And now let's see, and it can affect you in different ways if you're a mutable sign. You know, it can be, say, it can be either something connected with lovers and children that changes in a big way, the 5th house. It can be something connected to your social sphere, with friends, social environment as well, and long-term goals, 11th house. It can be something connected to your money and resources, or other people's monies and resources that you're involved with as well. These are the areas that the mutable signs, Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Virgo, have to be more aware of, that there will be some huge shift, some big changes happening there. Okay, but now let's see each side. And by the way, we're going to get some support as well. There is a way out. You see how each planet is pulling in its own direction, but there is a way out of this grand cross because it's supported in 2 ways. First, we have in Pisces Mars, which is making a trine aspect to the sun, to this moon, basically, to the full moon. It's basically helping to being in Pisces here. It's gonna help the sun and it's gonna help the moon with a harmonious aspect. The green, I would indicate it's harmonious aspects. And then we have another planet that is helping with harmonious aspects, the grand square. This is Saturn. Saturn in Sagittarius, which is helping Jupiter with a sextile, and Uranus with a trine. So we have a way out of this grand cross energy. What is going to help us? And that's for everyone. That's for all the signs. I forgot to mention when I was speaking generally about this grand square. Well, Saturn is super stabilizing. because we said it's crisis here, everyone is pulling towards their direction, there is some inattention, something almost irreconcilable. And what's the way out of this? Saturn represents common sense. Saturn represents turning to more authoritative figures with more experience, maybe some expert in some sphere, turning to all the people that can get us out of a pickle. On the collective level for the world, it can indicate some more traditional institutions that kind of soothe the tensions that are happening, more authoritative people with more traditional power and authorities that can stabilize, and finally common sense somehow stabilizing a little bit the extremes of feelings and actions that are building up over the next 2 weeks. So kind of this is helping the energy, helping it stabilize. In our personal level, when this crisis happens and when these big changes are starting to happen and the need to change, common actions, legalizing certain actions. For example, there might be a huge change in your life through which you're legalizing some situations. Saturn is legalizing, which there might be a support that comes through all the people, parental figures, authority figures, or bosses. If you turn to someone with more support or expert, or just relying on old experience, because now the feelings are very radical. People want to do very new things, especially all the planets are moving direct this week till the end of January. So it's almost like how I would describe it. By the end of January, you'd wake up and you'd say, wow, what happened? I've gone in a totally different level and experience in my life. It's like it was a whole, almost like a dream. Everything would move so fast starting now from Monday onwards, because all planets are moving direct. Mercury just turning direct as well on Sunday now. And from basically from this the 9th onwards till the end of January, all planets are moving direct, which is extremely rare, which means we're going into new territories, which means we're moving into unknown waters, which means we want new things. New things will come to us, overpower us one after another, and this Grand Cross staying with us till the end of January, wanting us to make changes. You might, many people might be very exhilarated, people that love changes, people that want restructure, that want sudden release of energy, that want sudden move forward. They can feel very excitable. People that want to keep the status quo, this can be a few rocky weeks ahead. But what stabilizes it again is this Saturnian energy. We spoke what it means, and Mars energy, taking action instead of allowing the tension just to build up and allowing it to hit you from outside unexpectedly. You take personal actions, and it will release some of the pressure out in the world. This can mean police and government, Saturn, that can kind of stabilize the growing tension or the growing tension in society. Mars rules police and military, Saturn rules governments. On a personal level, Mars means through your own personal actions and willpower, you can change things, and through your self-discipline and self-control, you can allow this transition and this big change that is happening to be smoother, not to totally disbalance your life out. So there is support and there is help for all of us, So, okay, let's see. For Aries in particular, let's see where exactly the full moon falls. But I still do believe that the other 4 angles of this Grand Cross will also affect the areas of houses. But say for Aries, the full moon falls in their 4th house, so there might be a huge shift over the next 1 to 3 weeks for Aries. Place of living, property, family, personal life, anything that is connected to their personal security, anything that's connected to their family life. But again, the Sun is in the 10th house. It might be instigated through changes in career as well, in their social status, changes in their relationships. Jupiter in the 7th house, changes indicated by personal new actions that they take as well. Then for Taurus, the full moon falls in the 3rd house. And it means that some big changes, and possibly preceded by some crisis situation in regards to some relationships with siblings, with relatives, relationships with teammates, co-mates, some work that is in groups with others, some kind of travel. But again, it can some documents, signing of documents in a big way. But again, it can be instigated by shift in, as we said, for the fixed signs, there's shift in how you perceive reality. There's shift in your in in your awareness and in your knowledge of reality, basically. And it might, this full moon can indicate some big changes that come in your life through associates, through travel, anything that can put a big focus and illumination in regards to matters of relating with others, contacts, commercial activities as well. This is the third house. For Gemini, the full moon is falling in their second house, and as we said, for mutable signs, it can make a huge impact and change, the beginning of changes in regards to their financial situation, in regards to their assets, in regards to what they consider valuable and what they consider what brings them stability. In Vedic astrology, second house also rules family, so there might be changes there, but usually it's more resources, funds, so that you take some actions, that you change some things to topple the old, how do I say, old structures there. But again, because the sun is opposite in the 8th house, it might be connected to other people's resources, to investments in others. It might be connected also to children somehow, Jupiter being in the 5th house. Might be connected also to creative or business projects that you're doing, that the resources have to be changed because of such things. Might be created to a change in your social environment, because Uranus will be in your 11th house if you're Gemini, you know, as well. But it kind of, it's focused through this moon, which is in the second house of money. So all those other experiences can filter through, can generate changes in your material situation for the future. And then we have Cancer. Well, of course, as I said, the cardinal sign, especially Cancer, the full moon is in your sign, so the biggest changes are happening for you. Especially, you know, I mean, new beginnings can be possible in your life, and they can come through relationships, they can come through change in career, they can come through big changes in family life as well, in place of living. Cancers are, something is spinning, a change, a crisis that pushes you towards actions that you take yourself. And it's like the spotlight is on you, Cancer, because the full moon falls on you. You're the one that is in the spotlight. And then for Leos, it's happening in the 12th house. This is a little bit more obscure, but it can, 12th house can be something that's outdated, and a crisis happens that you take actions to remove those outdated things, to totally take them out of your life. Also they can be triggered through change of consciousness, through change of awareness, totally all of a sudden awakening up, and or over a few days of a period, Leos, that something allows you to leave behind old habits, old perceptions, old belief systems. Then for Virgo, it's happening in the 11th house, which is the social house, the full moon. So there might be huge changes that transpire in their life, in their social sphere, in their long-term goals as well, in their earning potential. 11th house also rules the earning potential. And it can be affecting personal finances. It can be affecting also relationships with personal relationships with children, business projects, 5th house, you know, creative projects as well, and other people, their personal resources and other people's resources, just like for all mutable signs. But mostly it's in the 11th house of social transformation, long-term goal transformations, taking actions, some crisis happening in regards to friends or social connections, or some achievements and recognition of a sort which pushes you, because the 11th house is titles and honors and gains and earnings. So something can push Virgos to make some changes there, some crisis, either to change the direction, how to achieve those, or taking actions which can lead you eventually to those things. Then we have Libra, and for Libra it is happening in just a second. Sorry, I had to switch cameras because my battery finished. I hope you can hear me and see me well still. So we have Libra then. How will this full moon affect them? It's happening in the 10th house of social status and career, and as a cardinal sign, it's going to be one of the most affected ones, which can indicate the start of a year which can totally transform their status in life. And particularly around January, for example, you might take cardinal decisions to change careers, or something to do with authority figures to change in a big way, with the parental access is affected, the access of mother, father, family and career and work, big shifts can happen. But also, you know, it triggers also your 7th house, Uranus of relationships. So again, as I said, one of the cardinal signs, you being Libra, can affect you on those 4 areas of life: family, home, personal and business relationships, and career, particularly career, because the full moon is happening there, and goals in life. The 10th house is social status, career and goals in life, and personal life, 4th house. Then we have Scorpio. The full moon is happening in your 9th house. This is more less kind of, you know, shaky. It's probably not going to be felt so strongly, but the 9th house can be, again, as I said, as a fixed sign. The fixed signs, you Scorpio being a fixed signs, will have shift in their consciousness, of their perceptions, of their belief systems. A crisis, a belief system crisis can happen of some sort. Someone, a political system or a mentor, an inspirational figure you believed in, or some notion you believed in can be shaken, and you can be pushed to take different directions, different steps, and it can be shifted overnight in your consciousness. Because the houses of perception are affected for you. There might be some big important developments and crises and changes happening in regards to documents for foreign countries, foreign travel, higher education. All of a sudden you might have a eureka moment about what you want to study, or what you needing to pre-qualify, or you needing to all of a sudden realizing, okay, my life is going in this direction. I want my life to go in this direction. So this is what I have to do to prepare for it. This is what I have to study. This is what I have to pre-qualify about. This is like, because the 9th house is the long-term picture that we have in our mind, the long-term goals, the long-term plan that we have, because 9th house is the house of the Sagittarius energy, where we're pointing an arrow to the future, something that gives us a drive and meaning for the future to keep on waking up and carrying on. And with the full moon happening there, you might have some crisis that triggers a realization that you need to change the focus of the future, Scorpio, to change the, you know, where your arrow is pointing, to give you more meaning. And then we have Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, it's happening in the 8th house, the full moon. So matters of taxes, of mutual finances, of resources might be more tense. It's a financial house, so financial matters. Try not to rock the boat financially too much. Try not to be extreme or do totally kind of reckless actions in regards to investments and where you put your money till the end of January. I would advise you even the whole 2017, be cautious with that. And then because Saturn is in your sign, Sagittarius, try to make more conservative choices that are based on experience already, that rather than some wild guesses and something totally new, or something that is totally progressive, new, edgy, unexpected, you know, or at least rely on authority figures and rely on people with more experience from the past. But yeah, it can definitely put a lot of focus for Sagittarius in their financial matters, in their security, their personal and other people's resources as well. Matters of inheritance, matters of possessions, matters of resources of any sort, of what others consider valuable and what you consider valuable. They might be clashed there in you, but this clash can be very, as I said, stimulating into action. You might say, okay, enough, I want to change my financial situation. I want to, you know, and this can push you into action. Or if you're too stuck, it can come to you from outside, some kind of financial situation that can push you into, you know, taking actions whether you want it or not. Then we have Capricorn. Again, as I said, cardinal signs will be one of the most affected. It's happening in the 7th house, relationships, something big, cardinal, that they have to make a change in their relationship. Either comes to them from outside, a partner leaves, a partner marries them, proposes to them, something that's a bit of a crisis. Even getting married is a crisis, means change. Crisis doesn't mean like, oh, we're all gonna die. But it's kind of like a big shift in regards to their relationships, in regards to what they need in their relationships, in regards to partnerships, and business partnerships can come as well. Or it can, something that's happening in the other areas of their life can instigate the shift in their personal alliances, relationship, personal or business ones. shift in their career, shift in their social status, shift in their personal life, home, family, personal actions that they take that will reflect in a big way on their relationships. Or very important relationship reflects on their career, on their personal status, on their home environment, place of living, on their personal life. Then we have Aquarius. For Aquarius, it's happening in their 6th house. So there might be like a sudden awareness and a crisis, mental or outer, that makes you shift your health habits, Aquarius. Me as an Aquarius ascendant, something can shake you out of a situation, stress you out, so you start living healthier. So you change something in your habits. So you change something in how you maintain your body. So you change something in your daily routines. Change the time you wake up, the time you go to bed. Something that, and it can affect you for a long time, but this is like this change and this transformation is happening in January to push you towards different routines, different health habits, different perception of your health and your body as well, and also different Aquarius that are working. This can be their working environment that is changing in a big way in some way, so they have to, or they can instigate this change in their everyday work routine as well, or it can come to them from outside, like, okay, you're no longer employed with us, so you have to go to a different branch and work in a different area, for example, or comes an opportunity for you to change your job, so you're in a crisis situation. Do I keep that job or do I take the next one? You know, something that puts this 6th house energy to the front, and changes there that are happening. And then we have Pisces, and the full moon is happening in their 5th house. There might be a big focus on their children, on their love life, on their dating life as well, on romance for them. Some crisis can happen that instigates them to make changes in their relationship with children, in their relationships with lovers and loved ones, in their romantic life. Some changes can happen also in their creative projects. So you can be pushed into taking some steps into developing some creative or business projects. If you have your own business, this is again the 5th house, Pisces. So you can be pushed in that to make shifts, to make changes there, because it's no longer about adapting, it's about taking action. As I said, Mars is helping you. Mars is helping the 5th house as well, where the full moon is happening for you. So yeah, taking definite, and Mars is in your sign, Pisces, don't forget. So it's making you extra initiative compared to other signs to take those steps and make those changes. So that's, yeah, very interesting week. I want you to write to me what's happening. I want you to write over to the end of January. I want you to write what shifts in consciousness, in outer reality, in inner experiences are happening to you, because this grand square is instigating them. You will see on the outside in the world those shifts happening, this tension, this energy building up, but thankfully there will be ways out, so we don't go, you know, to extremes too much, of this polarization that's happening in the grand square. And there is another influence, maybe I should mention it. This is the Venus conjunct Neptune influence around the full moon on the 12th, on the 13th, on the 11th. You'll feel it in the middle of the week. And that's more soothing. That's Venus conjunct Neptune. Can be this week in particular, can be especially productive and can be especially inspirational for people in arts, in creativity. It can be very romantic, for example, as well, because Neptune, Venus is the planet of love, and Neptune is the planet of sacrifice and giving and idealization and romantic idealization. Sorry, my mind is starting to get overwhelmed. So this can be a great time for a date, for example, and that or kind of escaping reality through Venusian means, by entertaining, by pleasure, by romantic experiences, by being in nature, by creative, by some kind of creative outlets as well. People might be gentler, softer, more forbidding and forgiving as well in the middle of the week as well. So that's kind of like soothing energy, more creative, more gentle energy that can take a little bit of the tension from the Grand Cross of this week. So thank you so much, guys. Don't forget, courses decrease. We still have people that are offering readings with with decrease as well, with, what's that called, with they give you more minutes, you pay for 20 minutes, they give you 30 minutes. That's Ratko and that's Michael as well. Yeah, check out our courses that are half price still. So thank you so much, Astrolada from USA, and I hope that you join me next week.